Jessica Jones season 2. We're going to talk about it. This is spoilers. With me, I'm Daniel. Anthony. We're going to talk about this thing. What you think of it?
Like my overall review?
Yeah, an overall review.
Overall review, it was not as good as the first season. Doesn't mean it was bad, it just wasn't as good as the first one. The first season is, to me, like a Netflix classic. This was just a good Netflix show, which is nothing wrong with that, because, to be honest with you, the performance of Kilgrave in season 1 was never going to be matched by anything they could have done. So
I want them to try to match it though.
they tried. They did. They didn't
try on this.
Hey, well, give your review then.
They didn't try on this one.
Because I feel like I felt that the story wasn't Jessica versus somebody necessarily. It was more of Jessica
Fighting herself.
Not fighting herself. The relationship between Jessica and Trish.
Okay. Yeah, Jessica Jones, season 2. I thought it was bad. I didn't like it. I was bored. I felt it was on par with Punisher. It was not one of Netflix's best, better TV shows. And we're going to talk about that because that's what you're here for. Let's go. Let's get, since we said, now that I said that, let people know what you thought was good about Jessica Jones season 2.
I like the fact, and going back to my initial review, that they really tested the relationship and felt like they might have actually broken the relationship between Trish and Jessica, sending shockwaves through that entire relationship and kept putting it to the test. It kept showing the good, the bad, ugly, and the ugly of that relationship, and really straining on it, see if it can be pulled back together. I don't know if it can, but
it's not. I mean, there is possibilities, but no.
But the way that ended so far,
no.
I couldn't forgive it.
Nope.
I couldn't forgive it.
There's no way possible. Yeah, no real reason.
Yeah, that's my good. Also, I really like how Malcolm stood up for himself. I really do. Like, he really came through as a man, because he was getting punked a lot. And I really felt, and another thing I like is every time I had a question, they were like I felt like, for instance, when Trish was to keep taking out the inhaler, that right when she was about to take it again, after she got the call, she was about to get a job interview, or it was like a run through to see if she could actually do had that same emotion and passion on TV on a daily basis. I was like, man, when is this inhaler going to run out? Because it can't have there's nothing inside of it, just keep making the same formula. And as soon as I was thinking it, ran out. I was like, oh, here we go. Let's see what a drug addict can do without the drugs. That's my good. You can pull. I know so much good you want to talk about. You go ahead. I stole one of his. Now he knows how I feel. Yeah, I have never forgotten, brother.
I don't think it's the same thing, but I'm pretty sure it's not the same thing. But the only good thing I liked about the whole show was Malcolm leaving.
It's the only good thing?
That was it. Oh, and when they showed them use their powers, when they showed anytime anybody like Wizard, when Wizard was running fast, it was cheap, but I thought it was funny. When Wizard was running fast, and I was surprised when he was actually running. He was telling the truth. Like, he was acting all crazy, but he was telling the truth. Like, I'm fast. I just only run fast when I'm scared. Like, what kind of horrible stuff is that?
You know what it reminded me of?
That was terrible.
Remember in season 1 when Hogarth, everybody was going to Hogarth's office telling them their stories when they think they talked to Kilgrave. You had people saying wild, crazy, dumb stuff. That's exactly what that reminded me of. Like, everybody's just coming to her office saying these incredible dumb stories. Yeah.
This happens when you get popular and everything, and everybody wants a PI all of a sudden stuff. Yeah. And then, what did you not like about Jessica Jones?
That's tough. Come back.
All right. I didn't like Trish. I didn't like Trish at all. Her being a druggie, and then her knowing that the drugs were going to run out. She had to know it, and her knowing that the side effects of the drug that she took, seeing what they did to her ex-boyfriend who got killed, mind you, in like the second episode, and where they took her, and then what they did with her character. And it's interesting too, because I don't know what they're going to do with her character if they do a season 3 of Jessica Jones, which I'm a little itchy whether I want to watch or not after seeing this one.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, I didn't like what they did with Trish's character at all. I was a little ups and down with Hogarth. They gave her a lot more attention. It's like they needed more story time, so they gave Hogarth a whole story and everything. Like, she didn't have to be in there as much as she did. As much as she was in there, she didn't have to be in there. Like, her story did not need that much. And what else did I not like? Oh, I felt like there was no definitive bad guy. Even though like the last couple of episodes, the role of the bad guy was clearly the mother now. But I was like, no, give me a more I wanted a more traditional bad guy. I didn't like the fact that they took the storyline and it's like the writers couldn't come up with anything or looked at her source material. It was like, there's not much here. I don't know what we're going to do. And it was like, let's go into her past. Now all of a sudden, we thought her mom was dead the whole time. Now we're going to say her mom was alive. She's been alive for 17 years and she's been going through mood swings and all this. I didn't like it. It didn't sit well with me. I didn't feel like it was a good writing for you to go ahead and just all of a sudden, let's make the mom the bad guy and say she's alive. But what did you not like about the show?
Well, can I interject on a couple of points?
Sure, go ahead. Let the people know.
Because one, I believe that the show was never intended. This season in particular was never intended to have a bad guy. I think the story was, again, the real story of this between Jessica and Trish and their relationship and how it can be tested, see them pull back together. So, and they just used the mom as a bad guy. She really wasn't necessarily that. She was more of a plot device to test that relationship. Because all it came down to was Trish trying to be like Jessica, Jessica trying to say, it's not, pretty much saying, this ain't what you really want.
Yeah.
And
she did. She did.
Because when one was down, the other one was there to have her back, vice versa. To an extent, Jessica Jones really has nobody's back. But Trish, she will always go out on a limb for Trish. She will always pick up Trish's call. She was always call her back. She didn't have a problem with you. Trish coming in there and trying to fix something. Anybody else, she would tell them, like Malcolm, you're fired, get out, I hate you, whatever. She will always go back to Trish. Trish was about to die, she will always go back. Jessica cussed out Trish on her bed when it looked like she was about to die, and Trish came back. Thought she was doing the right thing. Well, I don't know if she thought that, but an attempt of a thing was done to help Jessica. And I mean, that was it. That was like the final straw, but they kept trying to help each other. So that's what that whole thing was about. I think the whole season was about their relationship. And to go back, your first point about not liking Trish, well, I believe that the seeds for her character to blossom the way they did in this season was already in season 2. When she took those pills the first time, her boyfriend came to Jessica's apartment and was trying to find out what Kilgrave is, and started fighting him. And she had took the pills, and she had took the red pills, and without the blue pills, her brain forget to tell her lungs to breathe. And he had tossed those out, so Jessica had to call the ER, come pick her up. This is in season 1.
Okay.
And I think, and you can see every time Jessica was, they would talk about her powers, Trish would always light up like I wish I could do it. She always say, if it was me, I could do that. I could do that. And now that she found a way, she was going to try it.
She went
and when
all in.
When she got that inhaler, after I can never remember Simpson. When Simpson was like, it's different now with this inhaler. I don't have all the side effects and all of that. Wow, she's like, in her mind, she's like, oh, it's okay to take this because it wasn't as bad as the pills. Not knowing that it was
still side effects.
Yeah, but he didn't express that, and she never got to see that because he had died before they manifested himself.
He did. He went crazy and was all psycho and everything, and then he tried to kill when he was at Kilgray's house with his people and everything, and
No, that's season 1.
Yeah.
Talk about season 2. When he said it's different now because I have this inhaler. Inhaler doesn't have the side effects.
Okay.
You didn't see those side effects of it being addictive and stuff because he had died before he manifested himself.
Right.
So all she saw was, and heard was, this is better, and this give you everything you want without all the bad stuff.
Okay. So what did you not like about season 2? Now that you
I hated that Trish took matters into her own hand. She did not have the right to kill Jessica's mother. That was going too far. And then try to make it like it was her call. It's not your call. First of all, I don't believe it's nobody's call ever to take another person's life, whether you're law enforcement or not. It's not your right. You have the right to defend yourself. You can beat them you can do like Batman does, beat them into their life. And have them recover, break a couple bones, but you do not purposely take a life. You could, especially because it didn't look like she was in any threat at all. He was sitting on top. There wasn't no struggle. You didn't see the Ferris wheel movie. If you're gonna see 2 power women like that fighting, it's not.
It would have made it. They would have never made it to a sitting position at a Ferris wheel, talking like this, like normally not moving, to where you can get a clear shot because she's not moving. But the Ferris wheel is, but you can get a shot.
You can line it up
perfect lineup.
Oh man! So you can see there wasn't no threat, and you can clearly see that she drove a long way with her, and she was not harmed. So you didn't have to take the shot. Trish, you were flat out bitch for that. That's what I didn't like. Don't take that shot.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, so favorite scene or key moment for you? I'll go first since you just finished talking. My favorite scene, I didn't have a favorite scene. I had key moments. My favorite moments were anytime they used their powers. It was awesome to me. It was like comic book movie. It was a comic book TV show, and I was thrilled. The actual regular story didn't draw me in enough. I was on the edge of my seat looking like what's going to happen next and who's going to talk to who. It was just the moments when they used their powers were awesome for me. It was cool. It was cool. Key moments, favorite scenes for you?
My favorite scene it's coming out of left field. They was doing the flashback and Trish was in the bathroom about to blow the dude because she looked so innocent. It's like the most innocent joke. Like, oh, I was just trying to be nice.
She was like, he took care of us with the drugs or whatever. He gave us drugs. I was like,
and her friend like, it's not a big deal. He got us some good stuff.
Those are the worst friends
I was
ever.
like, so in my mind, I'm thinking, why you not sucking on? Why y'all not tag teaming this dude? That was so funny to me.
As soon as homegirl was like, you want to go, when it was a scene before that, when homegirl was like, you want to go in the bathroom and do something, she pulled out the drugs, and Jessica was like, no, you don't need to do anything. I was like, you need to separate her from her. Okay, this girl is a bad influence for your girl Trish. And then that scene happened, and I was like, same girl. And then she walked in there and was like, it's not a big deal. I was like, she's going down the wrong path because of this one person that she considers a friend the whole time. I was like,
it was funny to me because it looked like she was holding her heels. Like you catch a little kid and they sitting down.
Yeah.
Like that. She's like, like a hairdresser. I was just gonna blow the guy.
There's no big deal. I was like, yo, really? It's like, you need rehab quick.
That was funny.
I was like, you need rehab or you need money, because that is not the way to go. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
That was funny because I ain't gonna lie. I looked at that scene and was like, what? Really?
I was like, cracking. You know what made it work? Because somebody at work told me like, yeah, Trish. I didn't see that from Trish. She's a dirty whore. I was like, what are you talking about?
Oh,
when I saw
yeah.
That,
oh,
I was cracking up like.
He did give us a warrant. Yeah. She is. Yeah. I didn't know she was that bad.
Oh man.
Yeah, this season messed her up all the way, y'all. Yeah, they took her down the dark path all the way.
That was so. But again,
Patsy is not a good person, y'all.
You needed to see that, and if you combine that with the other stuff she went through of season 1, where you keep hitting that she really wanted powers.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that her addiction and her wanting powers pretty much coincided to her being on that deathbed. So sad. And she manipulated my man Malcolm. You know what? That's one thing I didn't like, the way she manipulated Malcolm. You're supposed to be the good guy. You're supposed to be the moral compass of Jessica Jones. Turned. I understand why.
I was about to say.
I understand why. But I'm just saying, people still wasn't. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like Trish. Slut.
She was using people how she felt to get what she wanted.
I think Michael was a soldier.
It wouldn't have been that bad if it wasn't for the fact that Jessica told her he likes you and wants to sleep with you. As soon as she told her, she was like, no, he does. She literally didn't know Malcolm had a crush on her. And then once she found out, she just went full throttle with it. I was like, damn, she used him all the way, all in. But, yeah, it's Trish, I didn't like Trish the whole way anyway, so it didn't bother me.
And I got another key moment.
Oh, go for it.
Is when, this is actually in the final episode. When Malcolm straightened up, put the suit and tie on, and then went straight up Jessica. Like he went straight up real private eye with it. Where he would set up somebody. He wouldn't be Mr. Nice Guy. That's one thing I was really happy that he turned around, because even when he found dirt on Hogarth's male associate at the gay club, he didn't use it. He actually tried to set the dude on the right path. Yeah. I'm like, look, you're in the wrong business if you think you're gonna bend people with kindness. And for him to finally see that, and then go to get that information and give the Hogarth so he could be taken legitimate, even though she really didn't at the same time. But I think he found in his role that, look, for me to be a big dog, I gotta start taking out big dogs, and I gotta do it the way they do it. It's being nice and a little puppy and everybody could be just, if everybody was just a little bit nice, the world would be better. That ain't gonna work. You gotta live in the world you gotta live in the world you are in, and not the world you want to be in.
Yeah. Adapt to the situation. He adapted. He figured it out. It took a little
13 hours.
Took way
13 hours.
Took way longer than it should have.
It took 13 hours for him to realize that.
Like
in real time. I don't know how many things.
It took way too long. That's all I know. I don't know why he kept accepting getting treated like that, but we're glad he made the right decision in. Or I feel like he put himself in a position to go down a different path that hopefully better him. We'll find out if there's a season 3 of Jessica Jones.
There's a season 2 of Iron Fist. It should be a season 3 of Jessica Jones.
We shall see. We'll see. Well, I guess we're gonna find out how the numbers go and how the ratings and everything is. Changes. Is there any changes that you would make to this show? I would change everything and put more of a superpowered villain in this. And even though he gave a good explanation of what he thought the show, of what he saw in the show and what the show was going for and everything, with the mother and Trish being the main change, going through a change, and
that would really been a real story arc, Trish and Jessica Jones' relationship.
Yeah. But anything you would change?
You know what? Maybe I wouldn't make it 13 episodes.
Oh God, no! That's a good one. Did not need to be 13 episodes.
I could
have went 8.
I would go 10. Could have went 10. Some of that stuff. I mean, I understand why they put a lot of that stuff in it, but a lot of that stuff could have been shortened out.
Yep.
Just like I said, the finish should have been a little longer. The Jones should be a little shorter. The Punisher should have been way shorter.
They could have did this in 8 episodes.
They could have did it in 10. 10 would have been. You still had to flush out a lot of different characters so them to come around at the end like they did. But like,
if you got rid of everything Hogarth did,
some of that stuff was essential though. Not all of it.
Not all of it.
Some of it. That's why I said cut it down to 10, not 8. But that's why I wouldn't make it that long. Just because some of that stuff could have been cut out with almost every character.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
shut it 8, 10. You look, it's mine.
Oh yeah, you're right.
10. You could have cut it down. I saw that. Could have cut it down to 10 episodes. That would have been a little better. Yeah.
That's a good one. All right. Let's rank this bad boy on a scale of 1 to 10. I gave it a solid 5.
Wow.
5. I don't recommend it to nobody. Even if you've seen the first season, I still wouldn't recommend this to you. Because, like you said, the reason is because, I don't know. Let me put it like this. If I got the explanation and knew what I was going into, like you gave, where you were like, this story is going to follow more along the path, a non-traditional superhero path, and go and follow the backstory between her and her best friend, and they're going to see where they take it with them and what happens between those two. And we're going to see more of her past being revealed. I mean, they go deep and delve into her past life, and it comes and sheds light into her future and everything, and it comes and hits her in a strong way. And for like, I got like a mad explanation like that in the beginning and everything, instead of watching all the episodes I did and saw what I saw, then it would have been different. But I didn't, and I had to go through what I went through, and I didn't like what I went through with all 13 episodes. Nah, it was a 5. I'm sorry. I don't recommend it to nobody, even if you saw season 1, season 1 was here. They set the bar too high for themselves, I felt. And they knew they couldn't match it, and they just didn't. And I did not like this at all. Marvel, you should be ashamed of yourself. Netflix, you know you can do better. That's just how I feel. What'd you score?
I gave it an 8.
Oh, goodness.
I really like the show. Look, I go into shows and movies with the same thing. I do not care what happened before. I know I've said this on the channel before, that you get a higher score if you came up from the movies or shows before it came from such low standards. But honestly, when I go into any movie or any show, I go into expectation. Let me see what you have. I'm just graded on what I had. I'm not graded it on, yeah.
Go ahead.
I know what I just said. I'm not graded it off of a curve where I went in with certain expectations. So with these expectations, I didn't get that. So I'm gonna give it a lower grade than what it actually is. I go in there like, look, let me see what you have. Let me see what story is. At the end of everything, that makes it better. If I go through a couple bad spots here, but it ends up bringing it all together and I'm like, all right, it was worth it for the ending. That's fine with me. So that's why I'm giving it an 8. It had some boring parts, no doubt, but all the boring parts, for the most part, ended up being essential to what this true story was about, which, in my opinion, was between Trish and Jessica's relationship being tested, being pulled apart, put together again, and then eventually pulled apart again to the point where I really don't see if they're going to come together or not. And if it do, it's going to be because some abnormally stressful situation where they have to be together at the same time.
You gave it an 8?
Giving it an 8. Season 1 is a 10. Giving this an 8.
So you're telling me this is like right there with season 1?
No, this 2 points below it.
No, that's right there.
That's 2 points below it, my brother.
An 8 out of an 8, and you still
an 8 out of an 8. What does that mean? What?
You gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8. I'm giving it an 8. It was not a 10. It's not a 9. It's not Daredevil season 1 or Jessica Jones season 1 or the first part of Luke Cage season 1. It's not that. This is an 8. This is more or less Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 3. The end of the season 3. Something like that.
No. An 8 basically means if anybody and everybody, basically everybody who asks you, is this a good Netflix show, you would have to say yes, watch it. That's what an 8 is.
And that's what I would say.
You would tell them to watch 13 episodes.
Yes. Now, you don't have to binge watch it. Watch it.
You would not binge watch. I actually do recommend you binge watch this. If you're going to watch this, binge watch it.
I don't.
Because each episode is just going, it was not.
That's because you had to watch it, a known amount of time so you could record this.
Yeah, so we could do the review and everything.
If you didn't have a review, you could watch it at your own pace. It would
have been just as bad.
I don't believe so.
Would have been just as bad.
I don't believe so.
It would probably been worse.
Nah.
This was a 5. He gave it an 8. I'm Daniel. That's Anthony. Leave all those comments in the comments section. If you love what you see, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell too so you get notified for when our next video drops. If you got anything to say about our review of Jessica Jones season 2, let us know. Don't keep it to yourself. Let us know. We love reading people's comments. Till next time, guys. Bye.